Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing really well. As always, welcome to the channel. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my brand new guitar, which is this Jim Root Signature Charvel Dimas. So for those of you who know me and have been on the channel for a little while, you're probably thinking to yourselves like, what on earth are you doing with that? You know, that is a normal shaped guitar. That is a Strat. And like I said, for those of you who know me, I usually like to go for sort of like the more sort of metal shaped guitars, Explorers, Flying Vs. That's what I'm most comfortable with usually. That's usually what I go for when I go into a shop and I see Flying Vs on the wall. I'm straight there over anything else. So this might be a little bit out of character for me, but I can assure you guys, there's a good reason for why I've bought this, and it wasn't just some sort of like impulse buy just to see what it was all about. So I thought I'd go into a little bit of detail about why I've bought it, what I'm going to be using it for, and then of course show you what it sounds like and how I'm going to be playing it. So first of all, the reason why I bought this thing is it's me sort of going back to my roots, no pun intended, a little bit. As my first guitar, when I was taken to the guitar shop when I was like 14, was a Strat, a knockoff Strat. And it's actually hanging around. So this is where it all started for me, okay? So I couldn't play a note and went in the guitar shop and this is what my nan bought me, along with the amp and everything. I think it came to like 90 quid with all like the stand and the amp and whatnot. And I've got a whole video on this on my channel, so if you want to go and check that out. I was sort of reunited with this guitar when I put that video out because I gave this away to my cousin, actually, because obviously when you start progressing and you want to get higher end model guitars and stuff like that, your cheap low end Strat that you think is just going to be a throwaway guitar, it just, you just find yourself playing it less. And obviously with the guitars that I bought in place of it, I was more leaning toward those as upgrades. So yeah, I gave this away to my cousin who was learning guitar at the time and didn't really think much of it until many years later. I said to him, have you still got my first guitar? He said, yeah, but I'm not really playing it. I was like, well, if you're not playing it, could I have it back? Like I said, I talk about this more in the video. But when I got it back, it was a massive trip down memory lane for me. And yeah, I can remember trying to learn Master of Puppets on this thing and my first riff, Seven Nation Army and stuff like that. So when I got this back, I also started my teaching career and I thought, great. This is going to be a perfect guitar, which I won't mind sort of getting knocked around a little bit. It's nice and light. It's really easy to play. And most importantly, which kind of ties me into why I bought this, is it doesn't look scary, okay, for those who are wanting to start learning how to play guitar. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along and sort of the psychology of it. But just recently, I was teaching somebody Wicked Game by Chris Isaac, okay? And that has got like a sort of a whammy bar sort of intro, okay? And I didn't have a bar on this at the time. So I went and bought a bar for £6 on Amazon or whatever it was. And I put it in and I really realized how much I missed having a bar. It's like there's so much expression you can get out of it. And all my other guitars, they're all stop tail pieces, right? Just, standard metal guitar, no messing around. You can tune them up and down. You're not worrying about some sort of bridge system to keep in tune, right? So in the excitement of having a bar again, I plugged this into the Kemper and I dialed in a tone and it just didn't sound great, if I'm honest. And I don't mean to offend this thing because I love it and I've had a career out of it, or having a career because I'll still use it. But yeah, cheap low-end pickups, probably MDF body, cheap low-end guitar. I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if I got a guitar with a proper trem system and I could use that guitar for teaching because it would stay in standard tuning, okay? So that brings me onto this thing now. So I obviously knew that Jim Root had put these guitars out. There were nothing really that I was sort of aspiring to own at the time, if I'm going to be brutally honest. And I thought to myself, okay then, if we're going to get a guitar with a bar on it, with a Floyd Rose, because I want a little bit more out of a bar than just the standard sort of, where it's not locked at the top, just a standard bridge. That could be like a new teaching guitar, okay? Because it's going to stay in standard tuning because you know what it's like trying to tune these things up and down with the Floyd on. And I thought also this would be great because, like I said earlier, it doesn't look scary. And what I mean by that is Flying Vs and Explorers are really cool and stuff like that. I love using them for my covers on the channel, the live shows and stuff like that. But when somebody's coming to you for guitar lessons, right, and they see you sat there with a big, massive flying V or an Explorer or something, it looks intimidating. It looks scary. So with something a little bit more subtle, like a shape that people are used to seeing, because you got to bear in mind these people who come for lessons, a lot of them have a little bit of low confidence. You know, they're thinking, oh, I'll have a little dabble, but it probably won't amount to much, which is why I made a point of always using that guitar for my lessons, because I'd say to everyone, listen, this is my first guitar, and now I'm doing guitar as a job, basically. You know, so anything's possible. So this is primarily going to be my teaching guitar, okay? It's somewhat neutral looking, but it's still got all the specs on it that I would want to have to use outside of teaching as well. I want to be able to pick this thing up, you know, when I'm not just doing the day job. You know, if you're going to buy a guitar, you've got to want to play it all the time, right? And have it as a go-to. And if this is going to be the guitar that I probably play more than the other ones, I figured I'd get something nice. So here we are. Obviously, I'm a big Slipknot fan. I'm a big Jim Root fan as well. He's a massive influence in my playing. But this guitar is great for those who are kind of wanting like a heavy metal spec, but don't want to go all out on like a Flying V or an Explorer or something really extreme looking. The guitar weighs quite a bit. I'm not sure if you guys know, but this is a mahogany body. Okay, so when you first pick this thing up, and it's got graphite reinforcement in the neck as well, which adds a bit of weight. So when you first pick this thing up, it's like, when I've been used to that, you know, low-end Strat right there, that Strat knockoff. It's very light. That's why I've enjoyed playing it over the years, you know, because you can just pick it up and throw it around. But this thing, when you put it on your lap, it's like, you know, it's quite substantial. But I like that. That also makes up for a lot of the sustain that you might be missing out on with the Floyd Rose system. So the Floyd Rose system is a 1500, which apparently unique or exclusive, I should say, to only certain types of guitar brands. The other one they do it for is Schecter, and apparently they've done it for this one as well. So I don't think you can actually go buy those. You have to get a guitar with one on. And I was worried because I've had Floyd Roses before where the sustain block, it's quite small in the back, so therefore, you know, you can do all the crazy dive bombs and up and down and stuff like that, but when you just hit a chord, it just fades out like straight away. So I think for, you know, obviously the sustain block is a little bit smaller in this compared to like a big brass one in the Floyd Rose originals. However, the weight of this thing and the size of the body, well, or the mass of the body, I should say even, it just kind of makes up for it, and this thing will sustain for you all day long. It's also got an ebony fretboard, which I really like. All my guitars pretty much feature those. I like it because it's very smooth to the touch. And like I said, the body is just something that I'm familiar with. I've been playing a Strat in the day job for so long, I can just pick this up and it just sort of feels like home and I don't have to think about it. What I would say for you guys who are like how I am usually about keeping the guitar in like pristine condition, and you get really sort of annoyed when I get like a little knock or something on it. The finish on this is super thin, and if you know anything about Jim, he loves to have his guitar finishes really thin so they wear in, so you can sort of see where the player's been playing. It takes on the character of the player. So if you're into that, and you don't mind sort of knocks and bangs and stuff like that standing out, then yeah, this finish will be for you. But it is super thin, so if you're wanting something that's going to stay pristine, because that is a very brilliant white, just watch out. Basically, I would say anything that you put on this thing, it's going to stay there with this matte finish. Pickups are really cool. They're the Jim Root signature pickups, so a lot of you guys know what this guitar is. You'll have seen he's done his signature pickups. They're active, but they've kind of got a little bit more of a passive feel, a little bit like the James Hetfield headset. However, I prefer these over the headset all day long. I know a fair few people who've bought the headset and have been kind of a little bit surprised by what they do, and not really gotten along with them. It took me a long time to sort of get used to them and how to work them. With this, it's the same sort of mentality, active pickup but passive feel, but they're just so much more rounded. They're not just like gain in your face. The other nice touch is it comes with lock-in tuners on the back, which is a massive help when you're changing strings. I think these should come as standard on most guitars, but they don't in this day and age. But I think they're a lovely addition to have, just making string changes nice and easy, because Lord only knows that when you start changing the strings on a Floyd Rose system, it can be a little bit of a faff, especially when you're first starting to learn how to do it. So this is just one thing that sort of speeds up the process. Another nice feature as well is the truss rod adjustment is right here at the top of the neck. Okay, so rather than having to go dig around at the top, it's just nice and easy. You can just stick your Allen key right there and adjust it. And I think, again, that's just another thing that most guitars should have these days, because it's just so much quicker, especially for touring musicians as well. I'm not a touring musician myself as of right now, but you know, next move with the climate and stuff like that. So it's really quick and easy to just adjust your truss rod with it just being right there. You got a single volume knob, which is nice. Don't have to worry about, you know, when I'm strumming away, knocking a tone knob down by accident, thinking, why does my guitar sound dead? It's not there, non-existent. It's just one volume knob to worry about, which is great. Not for everybody, but I like it. And then the three-way switch, it's really nice and close to where you'd be playing on this thing. So yeah, that's pretty much all the specs that I think I'll talk about on this thing, because there's loads of other videos doing like a proper gear review, rig rundown. Mostly I just want to share with you guys what it sounds like and obviously what I'm going to be using it for. So besides the teaching thing that I mentioned, that it's going to be my workhorse for the day job, I also mentioned that I want this thing to be, you know, appealing to me when I'm not teaching. I still want to pick up and play and do my own sort of stuff on it. Fortunately, the guitar really delivers. I didn't do a blind buy and just order it online. I actually went to the store and played it and really dug it. So that said, I thought I'd show you guys now what it sounds like on a clean tone, heavy tone, and you know how this rolls with gear reviews and stuff, so we'll go from there. So there you go. That's usually how I use my guitars in a clean tone, which is just a shed ton of reverb, as my long-term subscribers know. So that's primarily one of the things that I'll be using for and how it sounds over in a clean tone. You'll notice as well, when you go onto those low sort of notes there, the guitar has got so much depth to it. It's really, really dark sounding. These pickups, they're really full and direct. So I thought I'd move over now, just show you what the bridge pickup sounds like on a clean tone. I don't really use the bridge pickup that much on a clean tone because I love that really warm sound on the front, but here we go. Again, very direct. It's just got so much weight to it. I love it. It's very full sounding. And again, this ties massively into what I was saying earlier about I really need to feel like I want to play this guitar. Otherwise, it was just, I was getting along just fine with that guitar just for teaching. You know what I mean? I didn't really play it for anything else. I'd sit and noodle on it on the couch or whatever while the TV's on. But, for like a serious playing guitar, it's really got to have that appeal. And it's not just because it's a Jim Root guitar. I think the specs are great on it. Yes, I like Slipknot, I like Jim Root, but, that just adds like an extra, cool factor onto the guitar for me. But I genuinely love how this thing sounds. So let's move on over to like heavies and leads and stuff. I'm going for more sort of natural feels at the minute when it comes to distortions for this guitar anyway. The EMG 81 into a PV 6505 with a tube screamer in the front is really great. It works in my band, The Lost Cause, that typical metalcore sound, that machine head sound, if you like. But eventually, I don't know, it just gets a bit boring, right? It's like, what else is there? And I'm heavily influenced by bands like Alice in Chains. I love Jerry Cantrell's sound. Yeah, his guitar tone is, especially on the more recent albums, or like Black Gives Way to Blue, that guitar tone, I absolutely love that. So I found a Bogner Shiva, and I know that he's used those in the past. I found that a profile on Rig Exchange for the Kemper, so that's what I'm using on this guitar. And you'll notice as well, when I just dial some of the crunch in, you'll hear that even though there's crunch on it, you can hear like each individual note. So we'll start with the lower gain thing first, and then we'll move up. And then for those of you who want it, I'll give you guys one dive bomb if I can pull it off. So here we go. That was okay. And another one. So there you go. There's some of the stuff this guitar can do. It's built like a tank, I won't lie. I absolutely love the way it sounds. I hope you guys do too. For any of you who's planning on buying this thing, I hope this might have helped you in your decision. It's just a very, very versatile guitar. It's a very direct sounding guitar. I think this could cut through mixes really, really well, both in a live and a studio situation. Cons, what don't I like? It's a Strat. Which I know is audacious because that's kind of the point of it, but because I said usually I like my Flying V's and Explorers and stuff. I absolutely love it. I think it looks great, and like I said, it's some neutral ground for me when I'm teaching, and I'm not going to scare people off when they come for lessons and stuff, but it's still very playable. It still sounds great, and it's still very enjoyable. So there you go, guys. That's the video, I guess. Let me know if you want to see more on this thing, and if you've got any questions, feel free to stick them down in the description down below. Of course, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Thank you so much if you made it this far into the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.